Bula, I'm Wame. Join me every weekday from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. on The Center Show with classic hits from the 70s as well as the 80s right here on Gold FM.
Tonight, 10 citizens receive Medal of Honor for their service to the country. Government conducts Fiji's first auction of 4G spectrum. And local girls signed up by international modeling agency. Good evening, I'm Jackie Spate and you're watching FBC News. The President Ratoe Peli Nailatikau today awarded Medals of Honor to 10 citizens for the service they have provided to this country. Epeli Tukawasa reports.
The highest honor, the Companion of the Order of Fiji, was awarded to the outgoing Archbishop of the Catholic Church of Fiji, Petero Matara. The medal is awarded for eminent achievement of the highest degree for service to Fiji and the community at large.
I'm honored for that, and I'm sure that and the church is honored. Our church I belong to and I lead.
The other recipients are Selina War and Kenneth Clark, who were awarded as officers of the Order of Fiji. Balgovinda, Yoga Nekar, Ratuisi Kelita Sere and Muhammad Rafiq were awarded as members of the Order of Fiji. Ilyasan Delana, the gold medalist at the Paralympic Games in London last year, was given the Medal of the Order of Fiji, as were Brijesh Chandra and Kwarching.
It's such a blessing for me, and also is encouraging to people with disabilities who've been watching out there. They can also achieve things like this if they're going to have positive mind and also work hard for their career and their goal and whatever.
It is an honor to be awarded my medal after doing a lot of public work, community work and all those. It is an honor.
All were honored by the government for their service to the community at large. Epeli Tukuasa, FBC News.
The government is conducting Fiji's first auction of radio spectrum frequencies as it begins a process that will provide super-fast internet access to all Fijians.
The new 4G internet will give Fijians with compatible mobile devices high-speed access to the internet, including fast downloads, streaming, browsing and video calling. Communications Minister Ayasayat Hayum says the vision of the government is that every Fijian have affordable access to 4G network coverage. He says the broadcast spectrum to be auctioned is a limited resource that belongs to the Fijian people.
We are not going to sell these frequencies. We're in fact going to give people management rights to it, obviously with certain conditions, because the belief is that the state, the people of Fiji, must own the spectrum at all times, but you can lease it out.
With this new technology, mobile coverage will expand and the internet will become more accessible and affordable.
If you're a fisherman, you're out in the Yasavas and you've caught some fish, you want to see where you're going to get the best price. You may be, you can phone people, you can text people. With 4G, you may be able to take a photograph of the fish and send it to people. In the same way, for example, if we can have also warning systems. If we have 100% network coverage throughout Fiji, we can send out what you call a blast text message.
The ascending bid auction will take place from June 24th to 28th at the Department of Communications in Suva. The winning bidders will be required to make the service operational by a set deadline. Chanel Shivan, FBC News.
Singatoka student Philippa Steele has created history by becoming the first Fijian to sign up with Trump Model Management based in New York. Steele was selected from 52 potential models who took part in a casting call held by Trump scout Dwayne Gatsi at the FBC in Suva yesterday. Chanel Sivan with the details.
This was the walk that made history for Fiji. 16-year-old Philippa Steele is from Kulukulu, Singatoka. Steele says she never thought she'd made it.
Actually, it's unbelievable. I didn't really think I would come here and make it anywhere. So I just told my mother, don't expect anything of me. I'm just going to go and have fun and then come back home. So I haven't gone to school this whole week. I've been struggling, practicing, shopping. My whole family and friends has been pushing me, and I just want to say thank you so much. I love you all so much. This is for all the people from the West. especially to the Singatoka people.
She will continue her studies until the end of the year before she moves to New York. Mum Colin says Philippa did not show any signs of being a model while growing up.
This is the breakthrough like we've been looking forward to. So we'll take things one step at a time. Just looking forward to the school holidays and next year. And then New York, here she comes.
Duane Gezi says Steele showed a lot of potential.
When she walked in front of me, it took me a moment to capture myself. Wow, I mean, she just has so much potential, and you hope that that's what you will find.
Gezi will be in Fiji again next year to look for another model. Chanel Shivan, FBC News.
Former Prime Minister Laisinian Garase's appeal of his sentence and conviction has been dismissed by the Court of Appeal. In August last year, Garase was jailed for a year after a conviction of 6 counts of abuse of office and 3 counts of discharge of duty with respect to a property in which he had a private interest. In delivering his ruling this afternoon, Appeals Court Judge Justice William Calancini stated Garase had already served his sentence. Garase was released from prison last month. 6 men appeared in the Suva Magistrates Court this afternoon for their alleged involvement in the robbery of a Wainandoi businessman last week. The 6 are Chekesoni Vuli, Peter Costa, Mahen Lal, Chonetani Tawake, Sandeep Singh, and Senicheli Mboila. They are alleged to have stolen cash, jewelry, and a licensed gun from the businessman's home. No plea was taken in court today. Singh was released on a $1,000 bail, while the other 5 men were remanded in custody. The case has been transferred to the High Court, where the accused will appear on June 7th. A team of foreign scientists are in the country to study our coral reefs, which could help us save them from further depletion. The Khalid bin Sultan Living Oceans Foundation will be in Laos for 28 days to research on reefs as part of their 6-year global reef expedition. Fiji is their latest stop in this global survey, which started in 2011. Scientists estimate close to 1/3 of the world's reefs have been damaged beyond repair, and 2/3 are under serious threat.
We really wanted to get a sense of what is the status of the world's coral reefs, and in each country, how are those coral reefs doing? What sort of threats are affecting the reefs? And if those reefs have been damaged, how likely are they to recover? And what can we do to make them recover in a more speedy manner?
One of the biggest threats to reefs is climate change. Coming up after the break, serious concerns over secondary school students' continued involvement in substance abuse and criminal activities.
How would you like to spend your morning? You could spend your morning like this. Or you could spend it like this.
Tune in to the Morning Ride every weekday morning from 9 a.m. till 12 p.m. right here on Today FM, Today's Hit Music.
Nimbula, methango nimilote na isoro tambua. Nama kia umena rua kina ona na via kavi moniti kina wakarambuka. Rongo mena via sana kina viva ka barota kini ndreko malolo. Ena Radio Fiji 1 na wongani via niano. Ngai nama kia kina.
Welcome back. You're watching FBC News. There is concern that secondary school students continue to be involved in substance abuse and sexual offences. A recent survey highlighted that students of at least 60% of secondary schools are involved in such practices. Shireen Lata reports.
103 secondary schools from the 172 in the country have reported students using illegal substances and being involved in criminal activities.
We compare the data for the primary schools in Fiji to that of the secondary schools. The biggest concern is in the secondary schools. These offences is mostly recorded in the Central Division schools.
The Education Ministry's National Substance Abuse Advisory Council is doing its best to pull students out from being involved in such practices.
The training of teachers in schools, and that program is currently taking place in Vanua Malawi this week. It was held last week. And there is another program called the Peer Education Programs.
This is a serious concern. Our future, the younger generation, are now choosing the wrong path, putting their health and future at risk.
Continuous advice is needed by parents on who their children mix around with, because it is the peers out there in the community and even the schoolmates who may provide a wrong influence to their children.
Drimbalavu says issues like drugs and sex should not be taboo subjects and children should be informed about it. Shahin Lata, FBC News.
Deep-sea mining has the potential to become one of the biggest driving forces of the economy if it does go ahead. SPC SOPAC Director Michael Peterson says while the benefits are huge, deep-sea mining must be given a precautionary approach. Roland Koroy reports.
This is what's generated so much interest among global mining companies, deep-sea chimneys with high mineral concentration. To many, it may seem like any other natural habitat, but for experts, it's a sea of enormous wealth. But to get this wealth, governments must take a precautionary approach. According to SOPAC, Fiji is well placed.
I think Fiji is an example of a Pacific country that theoretically can take a big advantage from this mining. And yes, the potential is there for deep sea mining to become a major element, if not the major element of an economy.
Michael Patterson acknowledges there are a lot of challenges, but believes it's the people that can deal with it.
It's just like money. Money is morally neutral. Money is neither good nor bad. It's what we do with it. That's the key thing, and that's where people get involved. And that's why civil society always has a place to make sure people are doing the things they are meant to do when they occupy certain positions, including myself.
If approved, it will be a few years yet before actual mining starts. It's during this time that a lot of opposition is expected from the civil society, most of whom believe more consultation is needed to allow people to speak out. SOPAC says opposition is good, as it will ensure responsibility. Roland Koroy, FBC News.
The government continues to experience the fruits of international cooperation. This is evident from the interest shown by Indonesia in providing technical assistance for urban planning and engineering in Fiji. Akusita Tale has more.
Indonesia has been assisting Fiji in the area of capacity building for the past 20 years. The two countries are now putting together a memorandum of understanding for assistance in urban planning and engineering, a big achievement for Fiji.
Because now knowledge and skill transfer between Indonesia and Fiji in the field of urban planning, engineering and urban management will be realized. This is a professional field which is critical in Fiji, for it has an impact on urban growth.
The proposed MOU will greatly assist government in urban management.
The government of Fiji acknowledges the constraints that it has in managing urban centers, and subsequently it is pursuing opportunities to build capacity, best practices and practices for adaptation in addressing urban issues in Fiji.
The MOU will also look into other areas which Indonesia can provide assistance in.
We can also go into rural planning, town planning, infrastructure development in fresh water, in roads, in so many areas that we can improve our cooperation.
A 9-member delegation from Indonesia's Ministry of Works is in the country to put together the draft Memorandum of Understanding. Akusita Tale, FBC News.
The Secretariat of the Pacific Regional Environment Program and the Pacific Islands Forum Secretariat is hosting a 3-day Pacific Climate Change Financing Workshop in Nadi. The The meeting is being held to help Pacific Island countries draw up strategies on how funds can be accessed to take action against climate change. PIF Secretary General Neroni Tuiloma Slade says globally billions of dollars are available for climate change, with the amount expected to increase to $100 billion a year from 2020.
The financing pledges of Copenhagen, as we all know, specifically the $30 billion in Fast Start funding from 2010 to 2012, and up to $100 billion per annum by the year 2020 have excited interest and expectations from all stakeholders.
Outcomes from this meeting will be given to the Pacific Climate Change Roundtable, economic ministers and forum leaders in Marshall Islands in September. Fiji's representative to the 63rd Miss World Finals in Jakarta in September will officially be selected tomorrow. A private judging was held at the Suva Peninsula Hotel today before head judge Dwayne Gatsi of Trump Model Management. Finalists will be judged in interview, swimsuit and evening gown presentations before the selection of Miss World Fiji 2013. The official results will be revealed during the coronation this Saturday at the Pearl Resort in Pacific Harbour. Time for sports now. The Flying Fijians team to play Japan was named earlier today, and Jamie is here with all the details.
Thanks, Jackie. Yes, you can find out after the break who's made the team to take on the Cherry Blossoms. Also tonight, our young athletes ready for Oceania. Stay with us.
Bola, oya wasala bilawa. Do pataki yao mena diwa kina tini karona kaloko na single boni moniti kina varomboka. Kako ni valatana no musini sari na kaisa moriendo loloma leone vani ni nau. Omgori ke de mena diwa kina tini karona kaloko na single boni moniti kina varomboka na Bula FM number 2 en sere.
जहाँ हो प्यार का बसेरा और रिश्तों की खुशबू, वो है आपका अपना घर संसार. Join me on Ghar Sansar, Monday to Friday, 9 a.m. till 12 p.m. only on Radio Fiji 2.
First up in sports tonight, Suva back Leone Tamborua will make his debut for the Flying Fijians against Japan on Saturday when the two sides meet at Churchill Park for their Pacific Nations Cup match. The former National Sevens rep has been named at inside centre by coach Inoke Male. The only other player who might make his debut will be Ilyasa Salu, who has been bracketed with Isena Tonga on the reserve bench. Meanwhile, the Flying Fijians have been training in Singatoka in preparation for the match. Already in a rebuilding stage, the side will not settle for anything short of a win. Indra Singh with more.
The Flying Fijians know too well that since 2011, the sport has been on a rebuilding stage. This work in progress continues for the latest group as they prepare to face Japan on Saturday, and there is one main target area.
Discipline, most of the time we get penalized a lot from fringes of the rack. So we're working on that on this week. Try to maintain that discipline and go forward as we attack and defense.
And how's the build-up for the first international of the year progressing?
This is our first international game of the year, so we're looking forward to play Japan. At least we've named our 28 squad. Now we have some quality players with us. It's first game we look at Japan. Then after that we look at the rest of the game.
The players who have been in the system for some time understand the importance of a positive result. One such player is the skipper, who has been in devastating form for his club in England and will lead his charges in Lautoka.
Individual that's in the Fiji team right now, we've got a point to prove because we've been picked not accidentally. We've been picked on compared to our form and compared to the stats that's been given out, and we hope that will prove critics wrong in the weekend.
The excitement is building amongst the teams and the fans alike. All that is left is for that excitement to be turned into winning rugby. Indra Singh, FBC Sports.
Japan also had a closed session today and will have their captain's run tomorrow. Coach Eddie Jones has been devising a game plan he hopes will suit weather conditions expected in Lautoka.
Now we've just got to front up physically. The start of the game is always important in the game against Fiji, that we set
the tone for the game early in the game, and that's what we'll be looking to do on Saturday.
That match starts at 3:40 p.m. on Saturday. And with the Fijian team, they're continuing their preparation for the World Cup in Russia next month. Despite the wet weather experience around the country, it was business as usual as the team trained in Suva today. The 24-member squad will feature in this weekend's Fiji Beta Mara Sevens. Officials will select 15 players tomorrow, 12 of whom will represent the country at the World Cup in Russia. And in athletics, Fiji will send a 6-member team to the Oceania Games in Tahiti next week. Expected to make a return to competitive running is Pacific champ Banuve Tambakaudoro. Salen Daudakadaka with the details.
The recent Coca-Cola Games as well as Fiji Games provided the perfect preparation for our 6 athletes who will be competing next week at the Oceania Games in Tahiti. Officials had been expecting good results from them after they put in the hard yards.
So what we did was, when we had the Fiji Games and also the weekly competition which we normally have done at the cathedral, that was a stepping stone where we were able to select these athletes. And building up on that, coming the Coca-Cola Games, they just produced as we expected. So we do have a very good team going in for these Oceania Games.
Pacific Games sprint champion Banuve Tambakaudoro and javelin thrower Leslie Copeland will lead the young side to fare against some of the best in the region.
Yes, it will be one of the main competition regionally where he will want to run and clock very good times, because this will serve as one of his selection criteria to make it into the World Championships. So with him and Leslie, it will be one of the qualifying competitions for them, and should they meet the selection criteria, they will be able to be qualified for the World Athletics Championships later on in the year.
The team departs for Tahiti tomorrow and have a 2-day rest before competition starts on Monday. Chalendo Dakadaka, FBC Sports.
That's your sports for tonight. Business is up next.
Westpac Fiji Bank will now act as a market maker for direct trading of the Fiji dollar and Chinese yuan. This means customers will be able to buy Chinese yuan with Fiji dollars. The bank's general manager, Adrian Hughes, says it's a huge step toward making banking easier for the Chinese community in Fiji. Customers will also be able to remit funds back to China in Chinese yuan. Hughes says the bank is thrilled to give its customers as many opportunities as it can to take part in increasing trade and investment in Asia. Weather time now, but first, Jen, isn't it fantastic that one of Fiji's own will be traveling to New York?
Truly thrilling news, Jackie. You know, even though they asked us to audition, I'm glad we didn't. It's good we gave everyone else a chance, eh? Moving on to our map, it looks like it was wet weather all round today. There was rain and thunderstorms throughout the country. 28 degrees was the highest temperature for today. Nandi Ba and the capital had the lowest at 26. Tomorrow's weather will be no different from today. We've got rain and thunderstorms countrywide, which should clear up by this weekend, hopefully. I don't know about you, but I'm not letting bad weather stop me from being at the Miss World Fiji show. Tonight, we're featuring the new Fiji Airways A330 Airbus in our photo, aka Namuka Ilau. Thank you for this epic shot, Mr. Shah. This was one photo we definitely couldn't look past. I'll join you all again tomorrow. Until then, stay safe, stay stress-free, and stay smiling.
Thanks so much for that, Genevieve. And a quick look at the headlines. 10 citizens receive a Medal of Honor for their service to the country. Government conducts first auction of 4G spectrum. And local girls signed up by International Modeling Agency. To our poll question now, and we ask, should Fiji have a new national anthem? To take part, visit www.fbc.com.fj. Remember, you can send us newsworthy pictures and videos on email citizenseyes@fbc.com.fj. That's your news for tonight. I'll see you again tomorrow. Good night.
की शादी होने वाली है। 5 बच्चे होंगे। 5 हाय, मैं हूँ आपकी सहेली वेणु। सुनते रहिए मिर्च एफएम। मैं हूँ ना 9 से 12 बजे तक।